I'm Joanna Small, Public Affairs and Communications Manager for the Lynnwood Police Department. It's Friday, February 25th, and this is your LPD Video Week in Review. Here's a summary of some of the most notable incidents your Lynnwood police officers responded to over this past week or so. On February 13th, officers were called to Barnes & Noble for a theft that became a robbery when the suspect got violent with store employees. The employees attempted to stop a woman from stealing more than $400 in vinyl records when she shoved one of the employees out of the way and pepper sprayed her and her co-worker. They then watched her flee on foot to the gas station across the street where officers contacted the suspect. She was arrested without incident and faces second-degree robbery charges. On February 12th, officers responded to reports of a robbery involving a weapon at the Super 8 motel. The victim told officers he went there with a female friend who claimed she left something in his vehicle. She left the hotel, and when she returned, two men were with her. They then pistol whipped the victim and stole the car. The car was later recovered, and detectives believe they know who the woman who appears to have orchestrated this crime is. What we are still working on is positively identifying who and where the two male suspects are. If you have any information about this incident, please call the number that's on your screen. On Valentine's Day, the manager of a restaurant in the 18900 block of Highway 99 called to report an overnight burglary in which the front door of the business was shattered and $1,500 was stolen from the register. The restaurant, called Modu, has surveillance cameras that caught the thief in the act, but unfortunately his or her face is too obscured for the video to be useful in identifying the suspect. Also on Valentine's Day, a Costco employee called 911 to report he had chased a suspect who stole nearly $4,000 worth of computers and saw the man get into a vehicle that was associated with another very similar theft from a different Snohomish County Costco. Using the vehicle plate number provided by the employee, the officers were able to determine the suspect was a relative of the registered vehicle owner. This was solidified when they found the suspect's wallet near where he had parked his getaway vehicle. The Costco employee positively identified the suspect in a photo montage, and he is now facing felony theft charges. On February 17th, an observant officer contacted a vehicle in the Fred Meyer parking lot with what appeared to be an altered 3-day trip permit and a registration that expired in August of 2021. When the officer approached the driver's side, he observed the driver actively smoking what he deemed to be heroin. The driver turned out to have an active DOC felony warrant for escaping community custody, with the original charge being assault. A second officer who responded to assist then observed a handgun in open view in the backseat of the vehicle. The suspect gave written consent to search the vehicle, and the gun, as well as over 12 grams of heroin, were recovered. He was arrested for the warrant and being a 6-time convicted felon in possession of a firearm. On February 23rd, officers rushed down the street from the station to the library where a man had reportedly intentionally jumped in front of a moving vehicle and was struck. Fortunately, the pedestrian was alert and talking. It was immediately determined he needed both physical treatment as well as mental health help. He was transported to Harborview Medical Center. The driver stayed on scene. Her vehicle windshield sustained significant damage. Now, just in case you saw some online chatter about it, yesterday morning there was a heavy police presence at Meadowdale High School when reports came in that there was a student with a gun inside a classroom. Multiple units immediately rushed to the school, and there was a brief lockdown. It turned out this was a false alarm. Fortunately, there was no gun, and students were allowed to continue on with their school day as normal. And finally, early this morning, officers were called to an apartment complex on 48th Avenue West for reports that a suspect threatened a man with a gun when he confronted the suspect for pulling on vehicle door handles in the complex parking lot. Officers got a physical description of the armed suspect and enlisted the help of an Edmonds officer and K-9 to attempt to track. The K-9 alerted on a discarded mask near the apartment building, which officers collected as evidence. The victim told officers the suspect had pulled the firearm out of his waistband, racked the slide, and then held it out to his side as he quickly walked away. At this time, the suspect has not been identified. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.